I decided it was time to come out on stage on the TEDx, hyper-personalization, and tell people that story. And that enabled me to rebrand. And there's the business element. I was a comedian for 2.5 decades. How do you convince people you can do something serious? I thought I'll do a TEDx, and it worked. That was the beginning of my rebranding as not just a comedian, but the mental health comedian, which is my brand. Um, and and it allowed me to get booked to do a serious speech with comic relief, good, organic, well placed, tasteful, personal humor.
Yes. And were you concerned, or have you found that this puts people off or not? Because it's such a serious subject. It is
Mhm.
so honest, open, raw. Were you concerned that, like, I can't imagine they're going to book you for a corporate gig, if you're going to stand up and start talking about suicide, or I don't. Was that your expectation? Because that would be my fear. Is that if you are too personal, then you're going to put people off.
Well, I wasn't worried about it, but again, let's go to the business element.
Yes.
I, I decided I have a speech. I have a motivational speech. I've got a cardiac comedy speech because I've had a number of cardiac operations. I've got 25 minutes on cardio. I've got a customer a networking speech. But I looked around town to the most successful business people in my town, and I selected two had completely different businesses, and they're both very successful. And I thought, well, what do they have in common? One guy owns 3 radio stations. One guy owns an auto body shop. And what I realized was the one thing they have in common is they do one thing and they do it extremely well. No side hustles. They are experts in their field. So I thought, in speaking, they say you need to pick a lane. I think any entrepreneur needs to pick a lane, become the go-to person in that area, in that whatever it is, whatever job or service you provide. So you're no longer a commodity. You're not just another body shop. Todd's Body Shop, Todd's Auto Body, they they do what's called it's not this is not exactly right, but it's environmentally friendly um, auto paint and body. The paints are made a certain way. They take longer to cure than the normal paints do because they don't have the chemicals that enhance the drying capabilities of the paint. But it's very eco-friendly. And in Eugene, Oregon, I mean, this is the it's this is a tree hugging capital of the world. So that's a very popular um, feature of Todd's business. So he is, if you are into all things environmental, and you have an automobile accident and you want your car fixed and you want them to use environmentally friendly products, you're going to see Ted. You're going to see Todd. And John Malkay, 3 radio stations. He's been doing radio since he was a teenager. He eats, sleeps, breathes, and So I mean, he is really good at it, and so people seek him out. So I decided I would have to pick a lane. That'd be suicide prevention speaking, just suicide prevention speaking. That's it. If you want to hire me for the others, fine. I'll take your money, but I don't market anything but that. Now, here's the second step, and I think people forget this. You have to decide who are your ideal clients. Who is willing to pay Todd's Auto Body, more money for environmentally friendly paint? I mean, you have to figure out who those people are. And well, in Eugene, they're everywhere because it's just an environmentally friendly city. In my case, I chose 6 of the top 10 at-risk occupations for suicide in the U.S. For example, construction. In construction in the U.S., 1,000 people die by accident every year. 5,000 die by suicide. You are 5 times more likely to jump off a building than you are to fall off a building if you're in the construction industry. So again, I selected and I got 5 more groups like that where they got a really high rate. So I don't have to convince them suicide prevention is a good idea. They know that. When they come to me, they're just trying to decide which suicide prevention speaker they're going to pick. Makes marketing easier, makes my SEO easier. If I put in suicide prevention speaker agriculture in a search, in an incognito search on Google, I'm going to come up on the first page. On the dental, on the the suicide prevention speakers dental, I've got 4 listings on the first page. I've got at least 1 listing in all my 6 industries on page 1 Google, because I'm become that guy. I've become beginning to be the expert, the thought leader, and so that's, I think. But whatever business you're in, pick a lane and own it, and then pick your ideal clients, people that are willing to pay you for what it is you do, and just a handful, rather than spray and pray marketing to everybody. Pick a half a dozen, handful of clients. Seth Godin, marketing guru, says pick the smallest viable group of people that can support what you do. Don't market to everybody. Just market to the people who are willing to pay you what you want them to pay you. And all I do in the speaking business is associations and corporations. And not only do they hire me, but they hire me because I've got the lived experience, gun in my mouth, suicide prevention training, and the comic relief. They come looking for me because it's a very difficult, dark topic, hard to digest. But when you add that personal, comic relief, makes it far more palatable, digestible. So, but I think the business advice is: A, pick a lane; B, pick your ideal clients. Don't market to everybody.
Thank you for taking the time to check out this effective marketing clip. If you found this interesting and useful, YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy this one, and this is the latest thing that we've put together. If you haven't yet, and you could take a second to like, share, subscribe, and comment, that will give us the motivation to continue on this epic journey.